1, 2, 3, 4.
JimBob, 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 JimBob Show!
Well, the only thing that I can actually get on my brain right now is that my new microphone isn't working. I can't get it off. I'm really upset.
Dude, not being able to get it off is the worst.
Yes, it's very
Especially
very
when it's
frustrating.
new.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. I was so excited. I was like, oh, yeah, I get to use my new microphone. It's like a legit microphone, like the kind you would see like in a studio. And I'm like, oh, and it's not working.
Well, Devin,
Something's
I think you and I are talking about the two different things, but we'll go ahead and save that for after. So welcome to the JimBob Show. I am Bob, and with me is the new partner, Devin.
What's up, guys?
So, man, you started out with such a pizzazz, and it's just like, what's up, guys?
Well,
yeah.
I got my, I don't know. I'm kind of in a mellow mood tonight. I got my coffee. I'm just ready to have a conversation, bro.
Dude, I just shotgunned a Rockstar, so I am fucking ready to go.
Jesus.
Like, it was awesome. I feel so much better, and my heart is racing, so you know that's a great sign.
Are you guys fans of energy drinks?
Us?
Yeah, anybody.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know we were in this. I thought we were being introduced. Okay.
We'll get to that in a second, but you can still talk.
Oh, gotcha.
No, you guys got to be quiet. Damn.
Yes, we love energy drinks.
I was gonna say,
I'm not a big fan of them. They taste. They're just gross. They don't taste good.
well, you don't do it for the taste. I mean, it's like an acquired taste, such as beer and coffee, right?
Yeah, once you drink it a couple times, your body's like, hey, where's that at?
Like, I know what this is. So, all right. So we do have a guest, as always. Our guest tonight is Rob and Tony from In Gaming.
Hello.
Welcome.
What up? Glad to be here.
Yeah, so you guys, so these guys are awesome. They have a Hearthstone channel. It is in the description. It'll be in the it'll be an annotation as well. So go check that out. These guys are awesome. They also have a Let's Play channel that is great. So it's yeah. So I'll let you guys go ahead and talk about it. Maybe bring up a video that's your favorite that you want to highlight from both channels, what the channel's about a little bit, and go from there.
All right. You want to go first, Tony, or you want me to go first?
Well, I mean, the channel has gone through a lot of different metamorphosis and finally has finally settled on Hearthstone. It didn't start as a Hearthstone channel.
Definitely not.
If you go back to our original videos, we have everything from reviews to World of Warcraft tips to like a live gaming show that was, if you ever used to watch G4 TV and like Attack of the Show, for anyone who's watching and knows that, we try to kind of make a show that revolved around the same kind of process, live with like gaming news and things like that. But we finally realized that the only thing that's been consistent throughout the entire channel was Rob's Hearthstone videos that he's always made. It was kind of like a super variety channel for a long time. Then we finally settled on Hearthstone and Blizzard kind of games, and it just kind of stuck, and people really liked it.
It's done well from there.
Yeah, so Rob can talk more about that and like what he's been up to lately with it and things like that.
Yeah, so we basically picked Hearthstone based on what Tony said earlier, due to the fact that it was more consistent than anything else. I guess it was just more we were just throwing stuff against the wall until something stuck pretty much, and Hearthstone happened to be it. Tony and I have always played card games all our life, so, going full into Hearthstone was something we were actually really excited that we could finally sit there, focus on one thing. And for those of you who are looking to make a YouTube channel, it's a little daunting at first, but if you can figure out something you're really good at and you enjoy doing it, people they'll enjoy watching you do something you enjoy doing. It's really weird, and it may sound weird, but if that's something you want to do, I would definitely give it a shot. But besides that, that's pretty much all I gotta say. Nothing. Don't want to go too much detail into it.
Yeah.
No.
And then the Let's Play channel that you mentioned, we just kind of started as other people were requesting we start playing some of their games, things like that. And now that we've had such a following for Hearthstone, we didn't want to start bombarding the channel we already have, with too much other content, because most people are there for Hearthstone now. So we set up this other channel called In Gaming Plays, and it's kind of gone through some changes too. Matt doesn't appear in the videos too much. He's another member of Iron in Gaming that used to make a lot more videos with us. It used to be me, Jeff, and Matt, and then Rob was in a couple, and then Jeff's no longer in the videos.
Rip
and
Jeff.
then now it's Rip Jeff, and then Jeff's no longer with us, by the way.
Yeah.
He can still
Really-
probably maybe help out with our every once in a while. We'll see, but then now it's just me and Rob doing videos. But we've been so busy because our semester just ended with school that it's been a little slow.
Yeah. That's for
just
sure.
to be clear, you said Jeff's no longer with us. He's living, right? He's
Yeah, I
living,
mean, yeah, we
yeah.
didn't actually execute Jeff. Don't
No.
think we're not serial killers here at the end.
No,
I really
when we
hate
said
that
Rip
phrase.
Jeff, we meant Rip Jeff's participation with the end.
Yeah. Well, I get the rip part because everybody says rip something or other. But when you said he's no longer with us, that really
It was the nail in the coffin.
Forward. I apologize.
Yeah, that one was the nail in the coffin, guys. So,
But not an actual nail in the coffin.
no, not
metaphorically. So, what would you guys say is one video that you think is the culmination of what got you to where you are, and just kind of is your channel as a whole?
Oh man, that's a good question.
I mean, we have so much like with Hearthstone, we have so many different kind of series. It's hard to pinpoint one specific one, but I'd have to say maybe the free to plays I'd say like the free to plays kind of enveloped the entire atmosphere of the inn in terms of, because like in those videos you really get to see like Rob and I's really kind of casual side. Because usually if like Rob's doing a deck guide, well, you're a bit more serious, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when the free to play, we're playing on an account. We've never spent money on it. So we lose, we win. Either way, it's fun. There's not really too much stress. But I mean, when you're doing like a deck guide, or you're trying to perform really well for a particular video, or trying to show off a particular deck, and you just can't seem to get the wins in there, and you just keep recording for hours and hours and hours, and you're just not playing well, it can be really frustrating at times. So I definitely say the free to play is what brings, I wouldn't say brings a lot of people in, but keeps the fellow inmates that we do have subscribed to our channel keep coming back for that daily content that we post onto there.
Yeah, we called our subscribers inmates, which is hilarious.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Really
I was
thinking
gonna say
about
it's
it,
awesome.
we literally calling them inmates like they're in prison or something.
But it's a good prison because they stay at the inn.
Yeah, exactly.
and they get to play Hearthstone.
And
Yeah.
they get
I
to
don't
play
think a lot of
Hearthstone.
people really get the whole inn.
I'm going to
Like-
still run with it, man.
I mean, we're still going to run. It originally stood for Integration Nation Network, which was like
Oh, God.
we're not going to go into what it was. But well, the original aspect of the
That's
channel
deep. That's deep.
was like supposed to be like more of a network kind of future. It was weird, but it just ended up sticking well, and we went with like an inn theme, taverny kind of thing. And I don't think a lot of people understand that.
And it just happened to go along with Hearthstone. It just, it is the weirdest thing.
Literally perfectly.
Yeah, no,
Absolutely
that worked
perfectly
great.
stuck.
Maybe
Yeah.
I'm really stupid, but I just now realized like in as in Hearthstone in like
Yeah.
Well, at least you get it, man. You figured that out
At least
in
you
less than
understand, like,
10
the
minutes.
meaning
We
of
have
it.
people subbed for years that don't know this.
But like we play a game that the first thing you do is play in an inn against an innkeeper, and a lot of people like don't really make that connection or don't even understand like what an inn is.
Well, how many
It's just kind of funny to us.
how many of your viewers do you think actually play Hearthstone? Would you say all viewers play Hearthstone in some way or another?
I mean, I'd say they have at least. I don't know if there's Rob, do you think there's a lot of people there just to
I
see
mean, if
us?
we look at where we like we said originally, we didn't actually start with Hearthstone at all. So I would say our first 3,000 to 4,000 subscribers weren't only there for Hearthstone. I mean, after we've posted mostly Hearthstone content now, we've lost a lot of the people who obviously don't play Hearthstone, because that's basically all we post on this particular channel now. But I would say, I would definitely say 90% come for the Hearthstone content, as that's mostly all that we post.
and they probably at least play themselves. I mean, a couple people have commented like, I watch more Hearthstone than I play. I kind of fall under that category. I watch more streams and Rob's videos than I actually like play Hearthstone. But there might be more. I think everyone who watches plays in some way or has played.
Yeah.
So
let me ask. Go ahead.
no, go ahead, Devin.
I was gonna say, so let me ask you guys. I'm kind of new to Hearthstone.
Okay.
I've plunked around on it a little bit, download it on my phone, play it for a week, get bored with it. But I've recently gotten really involved with it, especially with the new expansion. I really like the old god setting, and
Definitely.
I've been watching a lot of streams and stuff like that on it. So how does a new player to Hearthstone, learn this stuff because to me it's very daunting. Like I don't know the names of the cards. I don't know, should I be buying Classic? Should I be buying the expansion? Not buying, but you know what I mean, taking those packs after I play games and stuff like that. What's the best advice you would give to a new player who's interested in giving it a good, college try at Hearthstone?
Sounds like they need to stop by the inn.
Yeah, that's actually a lot of those questions, a lot of when making videos, that's something we keep in mind, are questions like that we've had from other people or things like that. So we have a tip section that reflects a lot of those kind of questions. So I'd say Rob can refer more to like specific videos and stuff if he wants to elaborate.
Yeah, I mean, are you referring to like, let's say somebody looking just to get into Hearthstone, like how they should go about doing that, or what do we do to provide for those particular people?
Maybe more the second thing. There's plenty of stuff like, if you go on Reddit or something like that, it'll be like, oh, you gotta beat all of the players, and unlock your first packs and get your 100 coins and all that kind of stuff. More like, what would you recommend? Maybe the better way to put it is, what would you recommend for somebody who understands the basic concepts of the game to take their interest in the game to the next level?
Okay. Well, with any strategic kind of card game, or strategic game period, but especially card games, I would just say rinse and repeat mostly. Like, the more you play, the better you're going to get. And that basically goes for anything you do in life, right? Like, the more you do something, the better you're going to understand. And especially with Hearthstone, like you mentioned, like not knowing the names of cards, not knowing what particular cards do, not knowing what multiple cards do together at one time. And then you even take that further into what specific decks do particular cards do together at one time. So that all just comes with, just playing the game and really paying attention. Like, I see a lot of times that players will kind of just go through the motions of playing and they'll play stuff, but they won't really think about why they're doing that. If they ask the question, why would I play this over that? They can almost answer the question to themselves of which play is better. It seems kind of silly to be having a conversation with yourself. I do it all the time, but that's a whole different story.
He's not lying.
I'm not lying. But it's kind of just like paying attention and asking yourself questions and how could I have done something better, which is like basic strategies you carry throughout your whole life. It seems, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's going to be bad at first, but the best way to learn is just to kind of get your ass kicked.
Yeah.
And then learn from better players too. So we'd always encourage watching the professionals, watching the tournaments, watching, solid YouTubers. The free-to-play series, I think, is good because we have to do a lot with little with the cards we have. So, like, when Rob enters ranked on the free-to-play account, he's playing a very budget mech mage. Well, at that time, now it's gone because of standard mode. But, Rob's playing a very budget mech mage deck, and he has to make very careful plays with it because every single play matters at that point. So, I mean, I think the free-to-play is a good example of, how to, play effectively and think about what to do with the little cards you might have at that time.
Going to Walmart with $5, you can buy a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
So one last question for you guys.
$5, you get the right deals.
Exactly.
So
you gotta find the right stuff.
One last question before we move into the next topic. What are your guys' thoughts on net deckers?
Before you answer that,
let's define net decking.
Yes, thank you.
Net decking, it's where you go to, so the source I use, I have net decked before, and I gotta say, okay, so some of your guys' deck testing, don't you think you contribute to net decking in some way?
That's what I was gonna take.
It's hard to
oh man.
So net decking, though, is where you go to like the net and you find a deck that works. It's the meta of the game at the moment. And so back before standard and casual, Secret Paladin was the cancer of Hearthstone. Then now you have the Cthulhu Druid, you have the Death Rattle Rogue, you have all of these net decks that have been done by professionals. I mean, I would say you guys are in the top tier of Hearthstone players. And so I wouldn't say famous people, but good people at the game, they create these decks and they put them on the net for the bad people to go and copy the deck to try and get good, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. It's kind of a double-edged sword because we can't Rob has said multiple times. I don't know how many times Rob's been like, this guy's actually playing the exact deck that I made, like card for card. Like, and like has lost to his own deck.
It gets me so mad.
That hurts.
So, does that make you mad, or is it like kind of flattering?
Mad in like a funny way, because obviously our whole YouTube channel is there to promote and help those who are coming into Hearthstone to become better players. Like, our decks are meant to, hey, if you're new to Hearthstone, this is basically like a template for you, a foundation of, hey, this is a good deck that works. Change a couple cards, make it to your own playstyle, go from there. But
that's where net decking, I think we'll elaborate on. Should be there
as a foundation tool.
That also kind of goes along with the advice you gave earlier of think about what you're doing. I think my big problem is I play it very passively. I play it when I don't want to think about what I'm playing, and that's probably no, really. It's like if I want to think about what I'm playing, I pull out something like The Witcher or where I have to focus on the story, right? Sure. So like if I'm playing Hearthstone, I think I kind of fall into the trap of not thinking about it, and maybe that goes
you on a different tier of players. Then you're playing for very casual, you're kind of playing for more enjoyment.
You're playing for fun.
But there's the kids that just want to hit legend as quick as possible, and so they just look up the best decks and they kind of read maybe a little bit of what to do in certain situations, but they're not really thinking. And so, I mean, there's kind of a joke with like legend card backs, like, oh, that's a secret pally legend. He doesn't actually know how to play the game, but he just played a deck that was so good he got to legend. Because once you hit legend, if you don't know, you get a card back that's only legend players can get. Yeah, so it's, I don't know, it's weird.
So what I'm saying is like the two pieces of advice that you've given have kind of gone together. Think about it while you're playing. Even if you are somebody who has used a net deck, don't just use the straight net deck. Think about what you want to do and adapt your style, and you'll be a better player for it.
Yeah, and understand like what the deck is lacking and what it's strong against and what it's weak against, so that if you like, let's say you're facing a bunch of very fast, what's called aggro decks in a row, you understand, okay, maybe these 2 8-drops, aren't helping me right now. Maybe I should put in some earlier cards that can help counter some of these quicker decks.
Exactly.
Like, just simply copying a deck and just playing it over and over and over and over again and just slamming it with no
innovation, no touch of your own style. I mean, everybody in the world is going to have their own decks that they like playing in their own style to play those particular decks. I mean, if you give me and Tony the same exact deck, we're going to play it completely differently, even though it's the same deck. So it's just like when someone net decks and, they just take what another player in their style has done and they put no spin on it, it's almost hindering them to a way that they're not, being able to attune it to their own play type.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And you guys said it perfectly. I'm not a good Hearthstone player. The highest I've reached was 9 actually. And it's that's not bad, but it's not great. And,
no, not at all.
No, not at all.
And it was my own deck. I didn't get to net deck. I didn't have all the cards that the net deck called out, so it was cool. But as much as I could talk about Hearthstone, I could go on for fucking hours with you guys on this because
no doubt, man, no doubt.
I obviously watch all of your videos. I watch Trump, I watch Kriparian, I watch all those guys because I just love Hearthstone. It's a game it's not really unique, but it is, right? So Hearthstone is easy to start, and once you get into it, it becomes so difficult and so hard that, such as Devin, you play casually, but the people who play it hardcore and play it, the strategy of it is limitless, and it's awesome.
Yeah. There's some very intelligent people that play these decks too. You look at a lot of the pros and, they got to where they are because they're very intelligent and understand the game super well. And can think in ways, a lot of players just might not, next level plays, as kind of like ridiculous as that sounds, like, there's just certain plays that people can see and they can't. So, usually the pro streamers, they come off as so good because they're just so confident. They're very intelligent to be able to do what they do.
Right. Absolutely.
It's not a dummy's game. It's it actually requires thinking. And
Well, yeah, at the highest level, there's also those players who play it just for the fun aspect. They played World of Warcraft, and they just liked the feeling of Hearthstone.
oh, definitely. I think it's really cool to see, World of Warcraft, a game that Rob and I have played since it first came out.
Elementary
to see
school.
it turned into a game outside of actual World of Warcraft.
You said people just like Hearthstone. That's probably the category I fall into, and I think it's because it's a Blizzard thing. Because they're so polished. Everything they do, they're like the Pixar of a video game. AAA video game people. Even if it's a simple concept, like I've been watching a lot of Overwatch, I'm kind of hyped for it a little bit.
Oh, we've been playing a lot too. Don't worry.
It's a third person shooter. There's not anything that is that groundbreaking or revolutionary. It's a balanced first person shooter, but it just looks slick. Like it just looks like they took the time and they understand making games. And even if a game, like Hearthstone isn't your thing, just the visuals and the music and the sounds are enough to maybe pull you in.
Oh man, Hearthstone's music is some of the most relaxing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
and it's got its own pretty consistent type of art and atmosphere. I definitely think that you're right. Blizzard is super proficient and super unique in what they do. I mean, you think of the different types of games from StarCraft to Warcraft to Diablo to World of Warcraft to Overwatch now.
They hit all the biggest types.
Yeah, they hit everything from first-person shooter to dungeon crawler to MMO to now a card game and first-person shooters and stuff like that. I think I already said that, but
well, don't forget Heroes of the Storm. So they conquered the MOBA space as well.
Yeah, even
I love Heroes of the Storm. That's one of my big games I've been playing a lot of recently.
I think it's very underrated.
It is. Well, it gets a lot of slack because it's not as advanced as Dota or League of Legends.
But it does have things that those don't.
Correct. Like my favorite thing about it is the varied game maps where there's not one meta that works for every scenario.
Exactly.
Depending on what map you pull, you might have to change how you were going to play the character you picked.
Yep.
I was actually watching Heroes of the Dorm. What was that? A couple weeks ago. College teams compete for tuition money and stuff.
Yeah.
Through Heroes of the Storm on ESPN2 or whatever. It was pretty cool.
That is so awesome how esports has become a thing now, and ESPN has bought the rights to a lot of the stuff. It is awesome. So
yeah, most definitely.
But with that said, so let's go ahead and get into we're running late, extremely late. So we're at 22 minutes. Let's go ahead and run into our next topic of stuff you play.
Stuff you play.
So again, for the people who are just tuning into this is the part where we're going to talk about some video games that maybe these guys aren't playing on their channels, that we're not playing on our channels. So we'll go ahead and start with our guest as always. We'll start with Rob first, since Tony did the first introduction. Rob, so what's a game you want to bring up to the audience?
Can it be a game I'm currently kind of playing, or does it have to be like a game I'm completely playing off of the YouTube channel?
It can be anything you want, man.
All right. Well, a game I don't play so much would be Dark Souls 3. I'm sure many can relate. I mean, that is our main. I wouldn't say the main thing driving our free-to-play account, but I don't really play much besides the Dark Souls and the Hearthstone. There's just not enough time because me and Tony are going to college, and this is my senior year, so it's been really rough for me. And Tony integrating in from community college to a university, it's been pretty difficult for him as well.
Pretty weird change.
So we've been doing our best to keep the content rolling on not only one channel, but introducing another one as well. So having any time besides that now has become a negative.
What's your thoughts on Dark Souls? How we played Bloodborne a lot, so.
Yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed Dark Souls a lot. I find it very, very similar to the Bloodborne. I don't think they really changed much in regards to the playability of the game and the gameplay. The motions feel the same. The dodge mechanic feels the same. I mean, even when it comes down to maybe even some of the weapons themselves, it's very, very close with Bloodborne. So it's kind of, I wished it was a little bit different in that aspect. It doesn't exactly feel the same. But in retrospects to the graphics and the bosses and the overall structure of the whole game, I think it's a very solid game, and we've been having a lot of fun with it.
Did
Thank
you guys?
God they got rid of that farming shit from Bloodborne. That I couldn't stand having to go kill low-level mobs just to get blood vials.
Yeah, that was one thing that was really annoying about Bloodborne. That in Dark Souls, you mostly just kind of go through the motion. You don't have to sit there and farm for hours.
Yeah.
So, did you
Yeah,
guys
I'd have
play
to
Dark
agree.
Souls 1 or 2 or even Demon Souls?
I have not. We actually, I think it was me and Tony's first sort of game like Dark Souls when we played Bloodborne for the first time.
Yeah,
That was
So-
my experience as well. My
I
Bloodborne was
watched
my
a bit
first
of-
From Software game.
yeah. I used to watch a bit of Dark Souls, like Let's Plays on it and stuff. I used to watch a lot of Let's Plays like 3 or 4 years ago.
So
So
yeah,
I used to watch Dark Souls, but never played it.
I've played a little bit of Demon Souls. I've played all of Dark Souls 1. I've played all of Dark Souls 2. I got about 3/4 of the way through Dark Souls Scholar, the first sin, I think. I played a little bit of Bloodborne, but man, Dark Souls 3 is such an homage to Dark Souls 1. So if you think about the
That is
map,
what I've heard.
yeah, if you think about the map construction, Dark Souls 2 is very linear. You don't really have a lot of shortcuts. You don't really have a lot of, ways around. But Dark Souls 3 and Dark Souls 1 was almost circular. So the map itself was circular. You'd get to a point, and then you would find a shortcut. So then the shortcut brings you back, and now you can get through that part so much faster. But that in itself is nice because I fucking hated having to run through the damn level 8 times just to get to the part that I died, that I keep fucking dying at. And then it's like you do it again and then you die again. You're like, God damn it, there's another 20 minutes to run through.
yeah,
But
yeah. Bloodborne had a similar mechanic in that you only got, how you have these the shrines or whatever, the fireplaces or whatever in Dark Souls, and those come relatively often. In Bloodborne, they're called lanterns in that game. They only come when you beat a boss. So you only have the different like portals or little waypoints when you beat a boss. But
Yeah.
there are a lot of gates and doors and ladders you can drop that make you skip entire parts of that like series from one lantern to the other. So that way it's very similar. There's a lot less of the waypoints, but there's a lot of ways to navigate the world.
Yeah.
The thing I liked better about Dark Souls than Bloodborne is I kind of turtled a little bit, So I'd be the guy with the sword and shield, and
Right.
you could hide behind a shield and take out any boss, any mob, anything. But in Bloodborne, you had to be good. You had to learn how to parry. You had to learn how to dodge. You had to learn how to just be quick on your feet. If not, you're going to lose to every goddamn boss out there. And I
Yeah.
think, what's the big
And
wolf lady?
The versatility of Dark Souls was nice too. The fact that you could have like, a bow and you could have magic and healing and, it was a bit more versatile in the fighting, the type of combat.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool that there was like 9 different classes that you could pick from, and there was multiple sort of like you got your assassins and you got your thieves, and then if you want to go more tanky, you've got knights and warriors. But if you're looking to go for a mage, there's like a pyromancer and a mage class. So there's actually like kind of difference there if you're looking for particularly like fire or you want other stuff.
Be able
So
to
I
heal
thought that was
well.
really, really cool that Dark Souls allowed you to pick from like a variety of different kind of characters.
Absolutely. So what about you, Tony? What are you playing?
Oh man.
I
I'm always
actually want to
playing
hear this
something
'cause I don't
different.
know what Tony does out of the office.
Well, the thing is, like, I've played tons of different games over the years, and I always end up going back to like the old school turn-based RPGs. I love the Final Fantasy series. I've played, think just about every single one, beaten almost every single one, and I always end up seeing myself going back to those kind of games in like any free time.
So
So,
what's your favorite Final Fantasy?
Ah, man. I just beat 9 again, and I think beating 9 kind of you just confirmed my set it in stone that is my favorite one. The first one I ever played was Final Fantasy 7. I have a brother that's like 10 years older, so by the time 1997 came around, I was only like 3, but he already had the game when it came out.
That's
And then I kind
scary.
of grew up watching him play, and then
You have to be You have to be really hyped for the remake.
Oh my gosh. When it was we go to E3 every year.
It's coming up in a month.
And in 1 month we'll be there again, of course. But last year when they announced the remake, we were in the hotel room before going to the expo, which is like what we go to, where it's like you go and get to interact with like developers and play games and stuff. But before that, the day before was Square Enix. Or maybe it was the day after. Regardless, they're announcing Square Enix is up, and I'm like, oh man, I want to see more about like Kingdom Hearts, or if they have like a Dragon Quest, or any more about the Final Fantasy 14 MMO. And then all of a sudden, I hear very familiar music. I see a very familiar cinematic going on, of the scenery, and I'm like, no way.
I've never seen Tony jump up so fast.
I was just laying on the bed, and I somehow did like a somewhat somersault on the bed to the end of the bed to watch TV.
He just starts crying.
I was freaking out quite a bit. I was super hyped.
He literally shit his pants.
I literally almost shat myself.
The funny part was we were all sleeping because the days are so long at E3. We get there, we wake up at 7 or 8. The day's over at like, again, 7 or 8, and we're walking around all day talking to people, the publishers, developers, playing games, talking to different people. And then, but like at the end of the night, we're like so tired. Tony hears the music, and he, the dog ear goes up.
What?
Exactly. So.
Nice.
But yeah, Final Fantasy series has always been a super consistent game in my life. Right now I'm playing the Final Fantasy 14 MMO, which is really good. And other than that, I haven't been playing too much. It's been pretty busy with finals in school, but those are my go-to.
Nice. What about you, Devin? What are you playing?
Well, my favorite video game series of all time is The Legend of Zelda.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah. Well, then you will love. Have you heard of Evoland?
Evoland?
Evoland. EVOLAND.
I don't think so.
Oh my god, dude! You're gonna run to Steam and you're gonna download this game. They just last year the sequel came out to it, and it's really flown under the radar. It is a top-down Zelda-style game, but it involves time travel, and the graphics change depending on what era you are in the game.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like the game starts out in like Game Boy graphics, the green screen.
Yeah.
And
like,
then it jumps
black kind of.
Yeah. Then it jumps to Super NES 16-bit. It looks like Link to the Past. And then you travel back in time and it's 8-bit, and then eventually it ends up being 3D. But it plays just like a Zelda game, and I'm kind of addicted to it right now. I found it yesterday, and I've been playing it nonstop.
I'm actually launching Steam right now. You've piqued my interest quite a bit.
I know, that actually sounds really cool. The fact that it changes the graphics based on the time zone you're in.
Yeah,
that's new.
Hook. It's a really cool hook, and I had never heard of it. I was just plunking around on the internet today looking at message boards when I was.
Oh my god, this looks like I'm looking at it. I see like Chrono Trigger.
Yes.
It's like it reminds me of the evolution of Final Fantasy.
Yeah, it's so up your alley. I was when you said Final Fantasy, I was like, oh man, he's gonna love this. I think I did somebody a solid today.
Oh my god, they even have like Octoroks. It looks like Octoroks from Zelda.
Yes, and jellies. I mean, it's definitely, if it's not a straight ripoff, it's a loving homage. But it's done so well. Like
it looks amazing. I'm gonna put this right on my wish list.
Yeah,
we've lost Tony from the end.
I have not played the first one, but I checked it out on YouTube just to see if it was the same concept, and it is. There's different graphics for different eras, time periods, or whatever.
That sounds so awesome, man.
It's really cool. I don't know how I missed it. It's been out for half a year, and I had never heard a single word about it until I
haven't heard about it either.
Today.
The first one came out in 2013.
Yeah,
over 3 years ago.
Yeah, like I pay attention to this shit. Like, how did I not see this?
Nice.
I don't know, man. That's crazy. I was big into like the indie games for a long time. Past couple of years.
Oh. So yeah, that's pretty awesome, man. So, Devin, I gotta say, I haven't added a new game for myself this week. I'm still playing Factorio, which Tony and Rob, if you haven't played it yet, It's an RTS, but it focuses more on the building side of it and not the go and attack another base side of it. So you build, you're stranded on a planet, and you have to collect resources. You start to build a factory, then you automate your factory, and then you build all these lines, and you have to strategize in your head the best way to automate. That way, you're not having to redo it from the start. But man, it is so much fun.
That's awesome.
And then I'm also
is, can you make money in the game?
No, I mean you can make money off the game.
Making money is very important.
If you're good at it and you do it on YouTube, you can make money, I guess.
I guess.
Yeah, you make real.
I heard
money.
factory and making things, and those things sell. So it's like if I've got a lot of gold in a game, I'm satisfied with the game. If I can end playing that game with millions inside the game, good. I did my RuneScape career.
No, your World of Warcraft career.
Oh boy.
Oh. Nice.
Oh,
it's
man.
funny.
Tony remembers stories of me out in World of Warcraft outside the Orgrimmar Bank, spamming for hours, buying gems, selling gems. Oh, man.
I probably
Rob
bought some shit from you.
controlled the auction house.
Yeah, I probably bought some shit from you.
Yeah, probably. Rob was the jewel crafting monopoly of Area 52 server.
It was bad. It was bad. I had nothing else to do in my middle school career.
Nice.
See, that was Wrath, because that was early high school.
If there was one thing I'm good at in my life, man, oh man, did I flip some gems and wow.
You can put that on your gravestone.
Yeah, put it on your resume when you get out of college.
There we go.
But the funny thing is, so back when this kind of dates me before World of Warcraft was EverQuest and Ultima Online. And this is back when eBay was really starting. So I used to play Ultima Online all the time. And I would play, I was in middle school, and I would play the shit out of that game. And you would just get gold. So it didn't have like copper, silver, gold. It just had gold. And you could sell 1 million gold for like $40 on eBay. And
oh, man.
Dude, I did it all the time. And it paid for my Ultima Online subscription, just put it that way.
Nice.
And then you get caught and you get banned.
I actually sold a lot of my WoW gold to a buddy of mine. Well, I actually should say to all of my friends that played WoW.
I bought WoW gold off you once.
Because I was
$10.
Warshak, the Jew bank, is what they called me. And, every couple weeks, casually, I would have like almost max gold on this account. And my friends would literally buy hundreds of dollars worth of World of Warcraft gold from me. As a middle schooler, I was making bank. I was like a Chinese gold farmer, like community, all combined into one.
It's like you're slinging gold. Nice. So, Devin, I don't think we're gonna get to a topic today.
I don't think so either.
There's topics.
Yeah, normally. So we did a topic on Let's Players and the impact to the actual video game industry. So like, a strictly narrative game such as Firewatch, does that, if somebody Let's Plays that, and it's so linear that you can't really deviate from the game itself, does that have an impact on people buying the game down the road? So I know God, what is that Dragon Cancer game?
That Dragon Cancer, yeah.
Thank you. It's called That Dragon Cancer.
Dragon Cancer, but
no, seriously, it's called That Dragon Cancer, and it's a game that it is so narrative driven, just like Firewatch, that the maker of That Dragon Cancer has put copyright claims on every single YouTube video, and you can't copyright it because they're saying it steals from their business.
Nintendo actually,
because someone would watch it, right, and then not buy it because they've seen it.
Yep, absolutely.
Right. The only appealing thing to it is the storyline. It's about a dad dealing with his kid having cancer.
Sounds like
it's heavy stuff. But I kind of fall into the other category. I'm a very avid Twitch watcher. It's what I do before I go to bed every single night. I find some stream and fall asleep watching it. And I have learned about so many games I knew nothing about or would have never given a chance to just from watching somebody play for a couple minutes.
Well, I think we're all in YouTube, and we all kind of agree with that because we wouldn't do it if we didn't agree with it.
Very.
Yeah.
I'm opposed to what we're doing right now.
You guys are assholes.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. It's kind of, it's almost two sides of the same coin, because in some ways I think YouTube exposure can really help your sales. I think you guys have heard of Undertale, right?
Yep.
That game kind of became like, kind of not a cult classic, but it became a staple in the indie community. It became something super well known because of its Let's Play exposure.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I used to watch so many Let's Plays, and I had bought in so many games based on, I got into Gary's mod because I used to watch C Nanners play, and I thought he was hilarious. So I used to play. So I bought Overwatch Gary's mod because of that. Octodad because of watching people like Critical, who are really funny. When I used to watch Markiplier a long time ago, and some of the really, the small indie horror games that you would never hear about because they're just too small and didn't have the money for advertising to get exposure, he would find the games, play them, and and these games would get huge.
Right.
He like single-handedly made the like Slenderman games super popular because he played all of them and got them in Amnesia too. Him and PewDiePie led to Amnesia being one of the like best-selling horror games of all time.
Probably the biggest issue is for game developers is, one, if your game isn't good,
I was going to say that.
You're going to be very scared of Let's Plays. But then at the other time too, if your game is more of a work of art, like that Dragon Cancer, I've got young kids. I don't want to play a game about dealing with a dad going through his kid having cancer, it's just not something I want to play. But because I enjoy games, I want to see what it's about. So
yeah,
for me, and this is kind of the whole, if I download an album, what were the odds I was going to buy the album in the first place? I do not want to play that Dragon Cancer. It will bother me like a lot.
Yeah.
So I was never going to buy that game. It was just, it's not going to happen. I can't bring myself to do it. It's just going to be too rough of a topic to deal with. So you really have to kind of ask yourself are they really losing money, or are they just, the people that were going to buy it are going to buy it?
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's more the
good
latter.
than bad in the long run.
Yeah, I agree. And just like you guys said, if the game's just fucking garbage, people are going to find out anyways and use reviews to figure it out. It doesn't make sense.
Some of the most honest reviews I've ever seen. Steam reviews are some of the most honestly helpful reviews I've seen in terms of judging a game's validity and and features.
Absolutely.
My new favorite example of that is the Doom multiplayer. I was hyped for the beta for it. And I watched somebody play it on Twitch, and I was like, oh man, I don't even want to take the space on my hard drive to put that on there.
Yeah.
And what sucks is that the single player videos that they put out look really cool, but people are going to get a bad impression based only on the multiplayer. And Doom was never for me a multiplayer game. It was single player, Twitch, fast Twitch, blowing up demons and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But people are going to get a bad impression on it based off of the beta and for the multiplayer, and just not being up to the standard of other arena first person shooters.
Yes,
I think if your game is good enough, the positive, the broadcasting of it on Twitch or YouTube or whatever could be almost nothing but positive. If like the best example I can think of right now that's super relevant is Overwatch. Overwatch has gotten an insane amount of hype, and seeing endless streamers play it and lots of YouTube content on it has just kind of expounded on the hype. And people have seen some of the issues with the game because of that, but I don't know, but I think people even trust in Blizzard so much and know, okay, well, they'll probably fix it, or they can see how it's being fixed throughout the beta and through the alpha to be better. And I think YouTube and Twitch for a game like Overwatch has been nothing but good.
That's also not a linear game, though.
No.
Right.
Story-driven games, there might be a separate point to, but
yeah,
for a game like Overwatch or even Dark Souls. Look how many people bought Dark Souls because of all the Let's Plays and stuff like that. Because they look at it, they pique their interest, and they want to buy it.
Yeah,
I agree. And you know, games like Minecraft that you create the story is what really drives the sell of that game too.
Oh, yeah.
But I think we are at 45 minutes.
Wait, sorry about that, man.
Hell yeah.
No, that's all right. We try to shoot for 20, 30 minutes, but 45 we're good with. So
yeah, we understand that too well.
Yeah, I want to thank Rob and Tony from In Gaming. You guys are awesome. Thanks for being on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us, man. Glad
Thanks,
to be
guys.
here.
It was great.
Yeah, and everybody listening, go check out their channel. These guys are fucking awesome at Hearthstone. These guys are awesome at Let's Plays. Devin, again, awesome, man. I'm so glad you became my new partner on the show. And I look forward to more.
Aw.
Less than 3, bro. Less than 3.
Less than 3.
Less than 3.
Yeah. So we actually we've recently become best friends in like real life because we do exactly the same things. And like it was even crazy. Our birthday is like fucking 5 days apart.
Hey, party.
I know, we didn't even know each other.
It was kismet, man. It was meant to be.
Something like that. So, all right, guys, thanks again for being on the show, and everybody else, thanks again. If you like the show, hit the like button. If you love it, hit the subscribe button, and that will do it.
Hey guys, thanks for watching our show.
Hey,
by the way,
thanks.
If you really enjoyed it, press the subscribe button and the like button, please, and then check out these other videos that are magically appearing right now.
It's
Thank you.
magic.